want to take a closer look at this issue now, and for that I'm joined by the CEO and founder of the Center for Countering Digital Hate, Imran Ahmed. Thank you so much for joining us. Your group has done extensive research on the impact of some social media on children in particular. Highlight for us what you've discovered.
Well, we've done a number of studies over the past few years studying things like eating disorder and self-harm content. A recent study that we did showed that if you set up an account as a 13-year-old girl on TikTok, within 2.5 minutes, the platform's recommending self-harm content. Within 8 minutes, eating disorder content. Every 39 seconds on average, and that's a brand new account of a 13-year-old. We've looked at virtual reality and how meta platforms work. So Facebook, Instagram, and its new VR, the metaverse. We found that every 6 minutes on there, we were finding instances of children being exposed to potentially harmful behavior, including grooming, extreme hate, and others. So what we've seen is a series of failures by these platforms to build platforms that are safe by design. But really what we've also seen is an ongoing failure for them to even respond to important research like ours and criticism from parents and from lawmakers.
And if the companies themselves, you're saying, have failed, what particular action would you like to see from Congress or the administration?
Well, today what we saw was, a really impressive show by the Senate showing that they've got a mastery of the problems. And we've worked with senators and representatives from both sides, explaining to them what we're finding, what our sort of groundbreaking research is finding. And they've responded in turn by holding accountable these CEOs today. But who's holding these lawmakers to account? Because, ironically, what the platforms are saying, what the companies are saying is, sure, we know that we're terrible at this and we're going to do better, but can you help us set minimum standards? Can you set the expectations? And that's precisely what lawmakers should be doing, is setting the expectations of society as to what the minimum standards are, so that you can have competition based on that, above that level. And what we've failed to see over the past few years is actually Congress passing sensible regulation that sets the minimum standards that these platforms can then compete on.
What do you say to people who say, look, this isn't a serious issue, online comments aren't the real world, they're just words?
I think it'd be very difficult to say that on a day like today when so many parents stood up in the Senate committee chamber, parents with pictures of their children who were harmed or killed by what they saw and experienced online, whether it was from child sexual exploitation and grooming to self-harm and eating disorder content. On the board of my organization, the Center for Countering Digital Hate, is a man who lost his 14-year-old daughter to harm. When the coroners investigated, they found that Instagram and Pinterest had showed us so many images of self-harm that they had normalized the idea that if you feel bad inside, that you hurt yourself outside.
What did you make of that moment where Mark Zuckerberg was urged to apologize to the parents who were there in the room, and he in turn did so?
Well, to be honest, I found it, as many of the parents I expected as well, quite galling to see Mr. Zuckerberg once again try to apologize for something that he knew was a problem for years and years. At the same time, in this hearing, someone talked about the testimony of Arturo Bejar, a whistleblower from Meta, who revealed that he had sent Mark a study from 2021 showing that young girls reported that 1 in 8 young girls, 1 in 8, said that that they received unwanted sexual advances in the last 7 days. And when he received that, his response was file it in the to deal with later. And they've done nothing about it since. So for him to stand up and apologize to these parents that he's harmed, having known that he could have done something about it, well, really, that's the height of hypocrisy.
There are those who say that blocking people from blocking some people or some content from online forums is counter to free speech. What's your response to that?
I think not connecting child sexual predators to children is not a violation of the First Amendment. It's just common sense.
Imran Ahmed, founder of the Center for Countering Digital Hate, we so appreciate your time and insight.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.